like to hear some funky Dixieland and dance a honky tonk. And I'll be buying everybody drinks all around. Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on? Oh,
Welcome back. And ooh, that black water. Isn't that gross? Cindy Dole here. Hopefully it hasn't been happening to you with the holiday company over, but you never know. And that's why we're talking about plumbing and such here on Home Wizards, because it's important. It's part of the ways that we keep those spaces you call home a little happier, right? And I mean, what is it about holidays and plumbing problems? Have you known that if you ask any plumber, they will tell you that this is their busiest weekend ever? The Thanksgiving weekend. And why is that? Well, maybe because we spend so much time in the kitchen. We have so many guests over. Who knows what is going down the kitchen sink, right? Not to mention the toilets. And then you all of a sudden have this problem where you can't flush and the showers are not working and there's backups bound to happen. Can you relate? Well, with me is a guy who always can. He's a master plumber 3 times over, DIY expert. You've seen him on TV all over, HGTV, the DIY Network. He's written a book or 2. And, of course, he's our favorite spokesman for the Kohler Company, Ed Del Grande. Hello, Ed.
Hello, Cindy, and you're not going to believe it. I mean, you talk about timing. I didn't know what we were going to discuss today, and my boiler crapped out this weekend. Right on Thanksgiving, we had no heat and hot water, so it happens to plumbers as well.
Did you say that your boiler crapped out?
Yes, it did. I should have put it in a more polite way. My boiler died.
There you go with the plumbing jokes, so we haven't even gotten into it.
And let me tell you something. Even though this is my trade, I diagnosed the problem in a matter of a few minutes, and I could have fixed it if I had the parts. But if you don't have the parts, you're just as helpless as everybody else. And I had to wait a day with no heat and hot water till I could get the material and fix it. So it does happen, and don't ask me why, but it always picks the holidays for these things to happen.
It really does. And you know what? I think we all can feel your pain because it just happened to us the day before Thanksgiving. Our bathroom sink wouldn't go, it wouldn't clear. And so we even used the snake. And then finally we go, you know what? We surrender. It's not happening. And you had to call the plumber.
Yeah, I mean, it's a helpless feeling, and I can relate to customers who call up, and if the plumber can't get down there, but the trouble is materials are half the battle, and I knew that I wasn't going to win. I was going to lose. There was no heat and hot water, so I built a fire in the fireplace, had a glass of wine, and just waited it out.
You see, I knew you're my kind of guy. You have to have a bottle of wine in every emergency kit. That's my thing.
That's it. That's what I recommend. Here's the plumber's tip. Everybody keep a spare bottle of wine. Never mind spare parts. Have a spare bottle of wine for the emergency.
Well, okay, maybe the plunger might be good, too. But, you have them both. So you did have a good Thanksgiving, by the way, in spite of all that?
Yes, I did. My wife, Sarah Lee, came over. It was nice. And how about yourself?
You had a good one, We did something different. Well, it has been for the past couple of years. We do Vegas and saw Donnie and Marie. It was so much fun. And then we do everything non-turkey, and so we'll do our turkey tomorrow. But you know what? I'm prepared for that plumbing incident again, so we'll be ready.
Well, you know how it worked out to my advantage? Like I said, it was my wife's family over, and because I had to light a fire, the smoke actually made the smoke detectors go off.
Oh, really?
And everybody ended up leaving because of all the noise and the carbon monoxide and no heat and no hot water. So it turned out to be a very nice holiday.
Hey, well, so more turkey for you,
Yes.
All right, well,
I'm only joking.
I know. But before we get to some of the troubles, I was just thinking, because there was a story here locally in the paper about a plumber who saved the day with a wedding ring that had gone down the sink. And I'm sure that that's been something that you've done, where you've been the hero, where you've...
Well, this time I wasn't a hero. A lady called me up in a panic. Her husband had given her an anniversary diamond ring that was worth about $12,000. And I ran over there, and I really thought I was going to be the hero because it went down the drain. But unfortunately, it went into the garbage disposer. And I got to tell you, those disposers grind up anything, including diamonds.
Ooh.
It was shattered, and the metal was all rolled up into a ball. I gave her what was left, but that was not a happy ending.
Oh, no. But if you did lose a valuable piece of jewelry of some kind, either down the sink or down the toilet, what would you do if we called you? You could still get it, couldn't you?
Well, here's what you get. It really is a crap shot, and I would put the odds at about 60-40 that you probably won't find anything. Sometimes it can wash through. It depends on the fixture. The toilet, probably not, but there have been cases when they go down with those cameras that they could find them down the drain line. As a matter of fact, there was a case, I forgot where it happened. It was out in the West. They actually found it. It was located in a restaurant drain line, and by the time they broke up on the floor and got the ring out and the guy got the bill, I think it was about $18,000 to save the ring.
Oh, no. But may have saved the marriage, though, you know?
What I could recommend, and this protects the plumbers and yourself, when the plumber comes over, just stay by them. As a matter of fact, I request, if it's jewelry down the drain, that someone from the family is by my side at all times, because you want to, the plumbers out there are honest for the most part, and they'll give it back, but you don't want any question, because if we can't find it and there's nobody there, I don't want anyone saying, oh, they probably put it in their pocket. So somebody stay with the plumber the entire time.
Now, if that's a good tip, thanks, Ed. And if for some reason, let's say, you know, you're right there in the bathroom and you're taking your jewelry off and somehow it slides down the sink, I've heard, and in fact, we've tried this before, where you get a shop vac with a little nylon over the nozzle, and you suck that baby, and it seems to...
I would. Well, first thing, do not run any water. Don't touch a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's there, it's going to be right in the trap, and instead of messing with the vacuum cleaner, which could damage the jewelry or maybe cause any other problems, get lodged somewhere, I would take the trap off and then work your way back. If it's for a sink, it's usually not a big deal because the trap is located right in the cabinet. If it's in a toilet, that gets a little trickier, but still the plumber could come down. I've taken the toilets off and shook them a couple of times, and the ring have popped out. But your best bet is to not touch the thing, don't run any water, and call a plumber if it's something very valuable.
Are there some plumbers who specialize in that? I mean, that, you know,
Basically,
like the CSI plumber, you know?
Who I would say to call up if it's something very valuable, especially down the toilet, is the plumbers who have the cameras on the snake, so they can actually go down there and see it and locate it. So that's who I would contact. But again, that gets very expensive. I mean, that could be $100, $200 an hour just to run those things. So the best bet is not to let any jewelry go down there, but if it does, don't run any water and call up a good licensed plumber with one of those drain sticks and a camera.
Okay, all right. And is it a good idea for those of us just, you know, with our plunger to have one of those snakes? Is that kind of an important tool to have around?
The normal homeowner is not going to be able to afford these camera snakes.
Yeah.
That's very expensive material. And the plunger is good for clogs, but if you lose something down there, the plunger is the worst thing to do because that'll just shake it off and probably push it down the line further.
Okay. Because we have the basic snake. It doesn't have a camera on it, but, you know, okay.
See, you have to realize that if you're looking for jewelry, a basic snake is not going to help you. The odds of hooking that, probably 100 to 1 that you're going to grab the ring or anything in that line, it's just going to push it down further. The plumber's the best bet, and especially if it's a valuable piece of jewelry. But don't be surprised if you can't locate it. I've heard more times than not it comes back damaged, or what I've seen myself, you don't find it at all.
You're listening to Home Wizard Cindy Dole here. We're talking with Ed Del Grande, who's got all kinds of great plumbing solutions, and maybe you have had a plumbing problem. You're welcome to call on in at 888-KFWB-980, 888-539-2980. So let's go through some of the toilet problems. I'm guessing that a lot of people have had, they put an extra challenge on that toilet this weekend with all the guests coming over, right? Maybe people are flushing
things.
Only
the toilet, people forget this, and this is very important to remind everybody, especially with the holidays coming up now. The septic systems. If you're on a septic system and you have people over that house, that's a strain on that system. And never mind the toilet, you could end up with sewer water bubbling up in your backyard. So be careful. Let the other people know coming over to be careful. Don't have wasted flushes. Don't go through anything crazy down there. But when you have people come over, and this has happened to me a lot of times at weddings, I get calls. People will have weddings at their homes. They're on a septic system, and they forget about it. And a few hundred people using the toilets and the bathrooms ends up trashing the whole wedding.
Oh, wouldn't that be? I mean, that could probably end the whole relationship before the wedding even began.
Absolutely.
Right?
When a relationship starts off in the sewer, it's not a good sign.
No, everyone's pointing the other way that it's, your fault kind of a thing.
Well, I had one time, it was an outdoor wedding, and the septic system was attacked so much that it was bubbling up out of the ground, and it just destroyed the whole wedding. The smells, the grass was all soaking wet, so you have to take that in mind. If you're on a septic system, be very careful about the size of the potties you're throwing. throw.
So in terms of keeping the toilet functioning well, I mean, a lot of people are still keeping family around, entertaining today and tomorrow because it's a nice long holiday weekend, maybe a big dinner on tap today or tomorrow. Just would it be a good idea to plunge the toilet just every now and then?
No. Just to flush it normally. It's very simple, and it's just a lot of common sense. Don't overload the toilet, and use your judgment. If you don't have to explain this to a lot of people, maybe sometimes you do, but if you see something very large in there that has to be flushed right away, do it right away. Then throw the toilet paper in.
And you've seen some pretty odd things flush down the toilet. Right?
Oh, I've seen just about everything flushed down the toilet, and I've even pulled out entire picnic dinners from clogged toilets where people maybe went to a cookout and they would just roll up their paper plate with the forks in it and the food and put that in the toilet and think it's going to go down.
Well, and I'm guessing that a lot of people try to, in a panic, hide things in the toilet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Sure. I'm not only in a panic, but hairbrushes I pulled out of there, kids' toys. It gets pretty amazing what comes out, and the trick is never to lie to the plumber. Whatever went down there, let the plumber know, because they're going to find it anyway, and it could be a little embarrassing if you don't give them a heads up.
I bet.
A lot of times it's some personal items.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not G-rated,
I don't
right?
know how racy could we get?
It's okay. We're PG-13.
Okay, well, this is PG-13. Well, no, I better not.
Okay. Oh, come on. What was it?
Well, okay. No, I better not. I better not. It was just
that bad.
There was a male friend of mine, and he and his wife were home, and when I pulled out the clog, it was something that a gentleman might use during romance.
Oh.
And I was going to go and pull him aside and say, hey, next time don't flush that down the toilet. But then I realized, suppose it wasn't his.
Well, we'll have to start calling you the love doctor.
Well, no. I mean, who knows who was over there? Maybe he wasn't home and somebody else
my gosh.
when he was gone. So I just kept my mouth shut, and I just told him it was just a bad paper clog.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Got it,
right,
got
that's
it.
what most plumbers do.
All right, well, moving then to something else that's not quite as steamy. How about the kitchen sink? I mean, I'm guessing that somehow, in a lot of households, a couple turkey bones ended up down that sink.
Oh, yeah. Now, don't forget, a lot of the high-end garbage disposers, check your owner's manual, but a lot of them can take things like chicken and turkey bones. Obviously, don't throw a whole leg in there or big, heavy bones. The restaurant-grade commercial disposers could grind them up no trouble, but in a regular household, things like chicken wing bones are very acceptable to most disposers, and coffee grounds are good. What hurts a garbage disposer is anything stringy or dried rice, things that could wrap themselves around the little blades in there, or things that could swell up in the drain line. So don't be afraid to grind up the small chicken bones. It's very acceptable in most garbage disposers.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I grind them up all the time.
Wow. Okay, so thank you for telling me that, because I always ended up putting them in the trash, and then my dog gets the bone. Well, no, then my dog tries to get it,
Well, that's the point of a garbage disposer, Cindy. You want to get rid of all that stuff. And especially nowadays, buffalo wings are very popular. Buffalo wings, again, check your owner's manual, and they'll tell you the do's and don'ts. But most of the good quality disposers out there will handle chicken bones with no issue at all. And not only from being a plumber, but personal experience. I've done it my whole life because my dad always told me, he goes, that's what it's for, to grind things up. And as long as you read your manual and see what's acceptable, it'll take it.
So we're just avoiding things that are stringy.
Stringy things like celery, broccoli, those could be trouble. One thing that's very damaging to the drain line is dried rice. When you throw that in there and start grinding it up, it swells up in the drain lines, and it just makes like a paste.
Oh, I see. But chicken wings, I mean, this almost becomes a party in itself. I could just have visions of you like, hey, everybody, come on over to my house. We're going to have buffalo wings, and we're going to watch me put them down the garbage disposal.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I mean, when people come over and they say, what the heck are you doing? And they look at me like I'm crazy, and I say, no, this is what it's for. I've actually had maybe about 5 or 6 people sitting around while we throw them in there, and everybody's amazed. I'm the hit of the party.
Now, is it a good idea to put, while we're just briefly talking about the garbage disposal, to put like half of a slice of lemon or lime? I mean, that's okay?
I do that a lot. They do sell a little packets you can dump down there, but lemon works fine. Coffee grounds are great, believe it or not. Those actually can sharpen the blades up a little bit. It's from what I'm told from some of the factory reps of some of these disposers. But coffee grounds is very acceptable in there.
Okay,
so, don't be afraid to throw those down.
Well, hold that thought because we have more time to talk. We're going to talk about other problems like low water pressure. What else is going on wrong with that plumbing of yours? I mean, it's soon to happen, and chances are it just might happen during the holidays. And if you do call a plumber, do you expect a holiday rate? What are the problems affecting you in your home? Call us at 888-KFWB 980. This is Cindy Dole, Home Wizards. The fun continues after this.